The Legend of Giddie by Giddie, Part 4. Welcome to the continued reading of The Legend of Giddie. I'm assuming you're caught up to this part, and if not, I encourage you to go back and listen to catch yourself up to this part of the story. Now let's dive in. Last we heard, "Gather the warriors, guards, everyone who can help, and bring some malformed humans. We'll need them to take us to their home." Ben shouts at the guards. I try to yell at them, but to no avail. Then Ben looks at me. He tells the guards something inaudible, and then I feel something jutting into my skin, locking my arms. Then Ben uses his arm to hit the side of my head. I fall to the ground. I try to claw to reality, but my eyes close. I wake in the gray dungeon. I can't move my head to see my arms behind my back. My hands jut up and down against the clangs of chains. There are windows on each side of me to show the two cells on each side. It stinks in here. I see rags laying up against the wall of the cell to my right. The rags are chained. I blink until my eyes adjust to the light. Finally, I can see the familiar short black hair and the beautiful black and white skin beneath those rags. It's Giddie. Giddie. I move as close to her as I can. Her head doesn't move, but her eyes look over at me. She opens her mouth. Black smoke comes out of her mouth with little swirls of red. She lifts her hands, and the colors move around with her fingers. She forms a picture, and moves it through the barred window to my cell. It shows the clear image of a red Ben figure fighting against a smirking black figure. The other red figures are lying on the ground. Ben falls to the ground defeated. The smirking figure drags the red Ben inside the stone house. The image changes to the horror room. Ben is on a table. The smirking man has tools and is looming over Ben. No, not even he deserves that. I shake my head. We have to stop it. The image fades into the air. I look at Giddie and she half-heartedly shrugs. "Do you know how to stop him? The one we're after?" I ask her. Her eyes look down at the floor and her shoulders slump. She doesn't. "Okay, we can figure it out on the way there. First things first, we have to escape here, or else he'll experiment on Ben and everyone else." Giddie looks up with her eyes wide. Black tiger stripes slide from her pupils and leave a trail all the way to her legs. She shakes so much that I can barely tell that she purposefully shakes her head. "Giddie, I know it's scary, but I won't let him get you. I'll protect you, but I need to know the way there. Please, can you help me?" I ask. She stumbles to her feet, then gives a guttural scream like a battle cry. Her eyes are wide while she stares at the wall opposite the jail bars. Black stripes flood from her fingertips, crashing into the wall. The gray marble collapses with a rumble. I look back to Giddie. She stands pressed to the bars. I quietly call to her. She quickly gets to her feet and does her "I'm fine" stance. Giddie points to the marble rubble and hops through an opening. I find a way out of my side as well and rush toward her. "Are you sure you can do this?" I ask, searching her face in concern. She nods, determination flooding into her eyes. She clasps my hand and we start running through the yellow trees. My ears and heart pound in sync with my running beat. The fall chill grows in the shadows of the trees. I notice that the trees start to shape oddly. The smell of decay is strong now, stronger than the last time I was here. There is red liquid flowing from the top of the hill that I'm climbing. Giddie halts. I scan the place. It's exactly the same as Giddie's vision. In front of the house we escaped a couple days ago, there are bodies on the ground. Blood splatters through the ground. A bulky man covered with soot, dirt, and blood laughs maniacally. Ben falls to the ground at the man's feet. My eyes narrow. According to Giddie, Ben would be carried inside next. Guards charge at this bulky stranger who I assume is the lab master, the experimentalist. Before the guards reach him, the experimentalist drapes Ben over his shoulder, lumbers into his hideaway, and slams the door behind them. Giddie drags me to the hole in the side of the house while the guards try to break the door down. I wonder why they can't get it open. As if to answer that question, Giddie knocks on the wall with a clang. The wall is metal disguised as stone. Giddie and I swing through the hole and land on the ground in the dark. White sparks fill the room with light. The experimentalist places the unconscious Ben on a table. Giddie still has her black stripes on from the jail cell. She charges the stripes at the experimentalist, but he dodges them. Giddie growls. The experimentalist says, "Daughter, to see you again. Why you treat me so? You didn't even recognize me when I went to find you." My eyes widen at Giddie. Her stony expression is frozen. I also realize where I've heard that voice. The new tag maker. The experimentalist twists his fingers. Black fog carries me and straps me on a table. My arms and legs struggle to break free, but I can't move. Giddie and the experimentalist strike at each other with color while the experimentalist taunts her. A bulky silhouette looms over me. I squirm, thinking somehow it's the experimentalist. Wait, this figure is shorter than the experimentalist. The straps rip. I am about to shout for Giddie, but something clasps my mouth shut. Quickly, Ben's voice hisses, "Shut up! I'm sorry, alright? Let me get you free." I settle down so he doesn't cut me with the knife he pulls from his shoe. As soon as I feel the straps tear and pop, I lurch off the table. Giddie is still at war with the experimentalist. I know I can't interfere, or I might mess up Giddie's efforts, or my physical body. Ben steps in front of me, blasting me back with an unknown force into the wall. I'm tingly with a gold feeling. The gold feeling comes from Ben. He had talked to me as if he were unchanged, but the color feeling, he has that too. Not as strong as Giddie's, but one thing is certain. Ben is malformed now. "Sorry, I swear that was supposed to be gentler," Ben calls out to me. Ben strikes the experimentalist in the back with his hand. Golden flashes shock my eyes, blinding me with lingering highlighted splotches. I feel myself lifted into the air, and slammed down on my back. The highlighted spots start to clear from my eyes, and all I see is a massive figure looming over me. I try to scream, but I'm frozen. I see the silhouette of something shaped like oval handles on scissors, and a long thin line coming from a ball in the massive person's hands. I struggle as hard as I can, but a hard force smacks my forehead. Lightning pain flares through my throat. Internally, I scream with the worst pain I have ever felt. My throat is splitting apart. Then a small figure comes and jumps on the massive one's back. Black stripes. The large figure falls down. I hear vague talk, and then a squeezing on my throat before I fade away from the moment. Dim light fills my eyes. I pat the soft fabric beneath me. A ripple of ache settles in my back as I sit up. Giddie wakes up beside me, flashing a pink and gold mix of relief. "Giddie," I say with relief and surprise. "What happened?" Her chin is down as her eyes look up at me, waiting. I start to stand, but I feel a sharp pain in my neck. I slouch again and feel around under my chin. There's something hard there. A string? A necklace? A rope? I look down in disbelief. I look back up at Giddie. She moves some of the rags on her neck to reveal metallic string threading from one side to the other. But how am I talking? How am I talking? My breaths run uncontrollable. Giddie, despite the pity in her eyes, grasps my hands and gives a hopeful smile. Purple and red dust spurts from my mouth. I'm both. I have both qualities of human and malformed. I'm both. Giddie nods. But I'm okay? You're okay? She nods again, starting to grin with me. I take a deep breath. That's kind of amazing. How do you speak? Giddie takes a breath and relaxes her hands, as if just letting go. I try the same thing. Relaxed blue emits from my fingers. As soon as I notice, it quickly jumps to yellow. That's amazing! Giddie grins, holding my hands. She pulls me to the door. I pull the door open. Golden sparks shoot toward me. I slam the door shut. Giddie, stay behind me. I creak the door open once more. Move the picture over a little to the right. Don't slam it into the guest door again. Someone calls from below. Golden sparks hold up colorful pictures and place them on the wall with the help of other colors. I dare to look down the balcony. Several figures stand at the ground floor, sending colors all around. They are decorating the place. I rush inside my room and look out the window to see colors flooding all around. I see bubbly waves altering the air like fumes. Is that what laughter looks like to Giddie? I hear people talking in colored responses. I run down the stairs. I see Ben and his servants. The servants are in clean and colorful clothing. They're even smiling. Ben gives a kind laugh. Now I'm even more confused. Ben shouts with a gold aura. Who says these people are not good? It was Giddie. That's it. Giddie saved us both. She sewed up our necks and carried us out of the basement before the tools broke down and destroyed the place. She healed the council and warriors. She released all the other humans in the basement who are petrified. Gosh, why didn't we treat them better before? Yellow light shines from Ben. His neck has the same metal string I saw on Giddie. The sight of Ben being somewhat more decent than usual shocks me into place. I'm not sure how to react. Look, I'm glad you're embracing it now, but... Ben sighs and rubs his head. He steps closer to me to talk in a quieter tone. but he still seems to try maintaining a respectful distance. I already apologized to my servants and freed them. They actually decided to stay here once they realized I was part malformed. I still owe you and Giddie an apology, though, and because my malformed humans are freed, I'm essentially forced to support changing the enslavement or death law, if that's still on your mind. Support us on that, and don't try to purposely make me, Giddie, or any malformed humans uncomfortable again. Then I might consider accepting an apology from you at some point. He nods. Understood. I'll see what I can do. Speaking of the law, he turns around and gestures into the crowd. The High Councilman for my kingdom and Ben stride inside the castle doors. Not dead yet, my High Councilman says to me, chuckling. Before, you were supposed to be in prison, Ben's High Councilman says to me. But with a lighter tone he says, but if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have all this new color. And your partner saved our lives. And now the air is filled with color. My councilman gazes up. You are free to leave. No punishment. None for your partner as well, Ben's councilman announces. And the enslavement or death laws for malformed humans will be submitted for revoking. I laugh and clasp my mouth. Giddie is fine. She'll be free, too. I feel a color coming from above. Giddie slides down on her own black stripe of color. She skids to a stop on the ground and lurches into hugging me. Feeling her embrace is such a relief, and brings out a surge of pink from me. New clothing has been laid out for Giddie, Ben says to me. He looks at Giddie and shows her his hand, now full of many hues of yellow highlighted with black. Giddie squeals. She creates her big black stripe and rides on it like a surfboard up to the guest room again. I walk outside. I meet all of the colors with compassion, and let out some of my own purple to fill the air. Giddie rides out the window in a yellow dress with black stripes and lands next to me. She drags me quickly to the main square. Ben and some others from the castle follow us. Giddie grabs random people from the curious crowd to the center and forms a dance circle. As they dance, they invite people from the crowd, both malformed and human. Giddie drags me to the center and starts spinning. She watches me, and I start trying to spin. I mostly stumble and fall to the ground. My cheeks flush with embarrassment. I'm used to more rigid dancing than this. My eyes linger on the ground. An offered hand comes into my vision. I look up the arm all the way to Giddie's smile. What a beautiful smile. I wouldn't have thought so over a week ago, when I despised people like her. But now I know that smile is the most beautiful and colorful I've ever seen. I grin. You are going to ask what I'm doing on the floor again, aren't you? Giddie closes her eyes and grins with yellow. She liked that. Giddie shows me something that feels easier. Just follow Giddie's guiding arm. Dancing with her feels wondrous, like I'm floating. Her soft eyes catch mine. She lets out a bit of pink, then we lean forward and kiss. Pink and purple flow out of me, intermixing with hers. When we part, Giddie runs out of the circle of dancing people. I laugh at the horror on Ben's face as Giddie drags him into the dancing circle. Ben and I face each other awkwardly while Giddie keeps dancing. She starts dancing with me, and encouraging me to keep going. Then she looks at Ben expectantly. You want me to dance on my own like a lunatic? Ben points his index finger up. I don't know who you think I... Giddie slaps his hand. Her eyes dare Ben to disobey her. I keep dancing and encourage him to. Hurry up, lunatic. Excuse me? Ben asks. Dance, you twit, I say. Finally, he starts doing a goofy in-place dance, and he eventually keeps going without paying heed to Giddie and I laughing with him. People are dancing, releasing color, and laughing, happier than ever. This is the kind of kingdom I always wanted. Giddie was the one who created this. Most malformed humans don't bother trying to communicate with humans. Most who did would end up enslaved or killed. Giddie was naive to try, but I guess that's how she was different than the rest. If she never did, I would have never realized how wrong I was. I look at Ben's goofily dancing self. If it weren't for Giddie, I would have continued to despise him. Giddie also saved him, and even seems to have forgiven him for how she was treated at his castle. The three of us dance in the center of a large dancing circle until we're all too tired to continue. That evening, Giddie and I travel in the rocket sled carriage back to our castle. Giddie looks out the window most of the time, staring at the yellow trees of the forest. She really changed my life. More color will be added. Hopefully, she will stay with me. Giddie is malformed, Ben is partially malformed, and my life will certainly change. I don't dare to think too much about the cords in my neck yet. I can see our adventures. Giddie and I can wake up every day to another fun day of color. Life will be fuller. We can discover new places. We can enter the annual competitions. We can have competitions specifically for color use, too. And we'll be rooting for Giddie every time. We step out of the carriage as dusk starts to settle. We stride up to the doors to the throne room, where we enter and walk down the aisle I walked for the game's ending ceremony only over a week ago. Mother waits at the end of it, looking at the two of us. We bow when we approach her. She smiles at Giddie. So I see. You're the famous malformed human to change even Frostvale's prince. And quite a beautiful girl you are. She eyes me. Yeah, Mother didn't know I liked girls. Giddie bows her head, giving off purple. She says thank you. I translate. At Giddie's eyes, I continue. And it's an honor to meet you. That's very kind of you, Giddie. Well, if you're to be free, you may remove your tag now. After all, you'll be staying with us with the status of a freed servant, Mother says. Giddie holds her fingers over her neck tag. For whatever reason, she doesn't seem to want it off. I suggest, I've got a different idea. The next day I pick out a purple collar with a tag saying Veda. When I wear it and show it to Giddie, she hugs me tightly. I couldn't help thinking that we stand united now. Though we may break away soon physically, I will never let her go. Giddie, you really are special, I say. She radiates a bashful pink. Really, you are. You should have your own legend. A surge of happiness seizes me, resulting in my voice becoming more dramatic to make her smile. This is your legend, the legend of Giddie, how she united two kinds of people and saved everyone. I just want to say thank you for everything. I can't wait to spend more time with you. She squeezes me harder. A raspy voice emerges from her. I can't wait either. Shades of color bloom from the two of us, mixing and floating away into the sky, blending with the sunset's array of colors. Congratulations and thank you for making it to the end of the story. I encourage you to revisit the audio version of this story anytime, and if you'd prefer to read through the whole story, click on the link in the description to read The Legend of Giddie in its entirety. Stay tuned for future stories,